It's a continuation of the first response to fat fighters. Okay. Now, one thing I can say I disagree about is the idea that the martial arts is for the small and the weak, and especially women or small guys, so that big guys have no business taking martial arts because they don't need it. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Let me go back into some personal history with this. I started taking formal lessons when I got to be when I was in high school, that's when I took formal lessons. Okay? Once I wasn't always a big guy. I wasn't always big or had size. Once I saw that I was acquiring some size, you know what I figured? I was going to stop. I figured, hey man, I'm gonna be big. So, when I get a chance, I can just go in the weight room, and just buff up, right, and get even bigger. And I was already flexible because my mother had me looking at Jack LaLanne. That gives away part of my age right there. Jack LaLanne books. Jack LaLanne is a older gentleman. I don't know if he's still alive or not. I need to look that up. But Jack LaLanne was a fitness guru, and he had a book on stretches. All types of stretches, basically yoga. Yoga with a little bit of calisthenics in it. And my mother made a game out of it. And I used to do the Jack LaLanne stretches when I was little, and I just kept doing them. I learned all the ones for lower body. So my lower body was already flexible. Now my upper body is still pretty stiff with the back motion going here. But I'm working on that. But everything else is loose. I'm still considered pretty flexible. I mean, I'm sitting here in a chair, can grab my foot in here and put it up and everything else, and it's no big deal. I can do that cold. Anyway, so I figured I'm going to be big, right? So I went to martial arts. And one of my brother's friends, Andre, I think it was either Andre or Alvin. It was one of those guys because they're brothers, and I can't remember sometimes which one told me what because they both told me so much. Anyway, I'm going to do a video about my brothers and his friends and how they've influenced my martial arts later. But anyway, he said, okay, yeah, you're going to be big, you're going to have size on you, but you kind of nice, and people are going to try you. And there are small people that have a fantasy of beating up a big person, so you better keep training. And another thing, because you big, you ain't going to fight, ain't nobody going to fight you fair. You ain't going to fight, getting no one-on-one fights. One-on-one fights are over for you. They're going to have a weapon or something, they're going to have something up their sleeve, or they're going to know something. So you might as well keep up with that karate stuff you're doing. I was like, what? Said, people going to try you because you big. They're going to think they can swing on you. I was like, yeah, whatever, Dre. All right, man. So even though I didn't really believe him, I still kept practicing. Now fast forward 10 years after that as an adult. And everything he said started happening. And it was not my fault. I wasn't going out looking for anything. Anybody knows me, I'm a peaceful person. I'm not going to name people's names. One time when training, this was a small guy martial artist. We were not even sparring. He tried to hurt me. If I hadn't known what I knew up to that point, I would be blind. And I'm not kidding. I would not be able to see out of one of my eyes. And it was totally uncalled for. There was no excuse for that. I mean, it made no sense. We weren't even competing. It wasn't even a tournament. It wasn't even sparring. It was a drill, and he just went off and just did something really crazy. Another time, because someone didn't like, why did he attack me? He didn't like something we were doing in that group that we were in. Now I'll just leave it at that. And so he decides to just attack everyone. And then I said something. And then he attacks me. I'm a lot bigger than him. Now he was pretty much tall but thin. So I had a weight advantage. But he was very, 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 very fit. And I was not. And he attacked me because he probably figured he had an advantage in speed and reflexes because he's so fit. He didn't. And it was only because of my martial arts training I was able to keep him from hurting other people. It wasn't because of my size. Another time I got attacked by a female because she didn't like what I said. Physically attacked. I only found out afterwards that she had been taking kickboxing. That's why she was punching at me so fast. The punches were coming so fast that you could not see them with the eye. But I was able to protect myself because of my training. Otherwise, I could have gotten hurt, or I would have had to hurt her to keep her from hurting me. And fortunately, because that's when I got my first black belt. By that point, I knew enough soft parries to not get hit. And because people that come at me that fast in class, that was the only reason why. It wasn't my size that helped me there. There have been other instances, random. One time when I was a teenager, a guy tried to pick a fight with me. This was an adult. He was trying to provoke me. It was the whole martial arts thing of not getting riled up about it that kept me out of it. And I didn't even know he had a buddy standing like around the corner of the aisle waiting to jump me. Okay? These were all people who are either small. Random homeless person attacked me. Average size homeless person reached out, tried to grab and scratch at me. I just moved like I was turning in a form and just moved out the way of it. You would think that because I'm large, that would be enough, but it's not. There are people who will attack you, or will attack a large person because they think a large person is an easy target. Because if you smile, that means you're weak in the eyes of dummies. Don't you think those people deserve to be able to defend themselves? I do. And there's also another realization I've come to. If I go again based on my family genetics, I'm not always going to be big, and I'm not always going to be strong. It looks like those of us who live long enough in our family, when we're young, we get to be pretty big. Some of us are even built like, some people in my family are built like action figures. I wish I got those genes. Some of them are overweight. I got those. They're all pretty big and husky when they're younger. Then they get older after a while and they start to shrink. They're still pretty mobile when they're old, but they're smaller. I'm not always going to be big and strong. One day I will be the weak. Shouldn't I know how to defend myself? Or I should wait till then to start to train? No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. So in terms of bullies come in all shapes and sizes. There are female bullies, there are male bullies, there are big bullies, and there are small bullies. There are a lot more small bullies than you would think. And some of these people that take martial arts that are smaller take martial arts to bully big people. Don't you think the big people should be able to defend themselves? Or rather, it would be great if the big person could defend themselves in a manner where nobody has to get hurt, where they don't have to rely on that size and strength, where they could rely on technique, neutralize the situation, and really defend themselves in a way that's harmonious. Think about it.